Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Here to show you a bunch of pics and some video from the Mercyful Fate concert, Philadelphia, PA, November 14th, 2022. Just earlier in this week for me. Amazing show. Couldn't have been any better, literally. Awesome. Creator was the opener. Not too familiar with them, but they were solid. Been listening to these guys for 40 years now, or just about 39 years, let's say. So first time seeing them. I know they were around up until the late 90s. I never caught them at that point. Amazing show. I have no words to describe it other than it was incredible. It was more than you hoped it to be. The set list was like insane. So we'll get into all that good stuff. If you guys can like or subscribe, that would be cool. So Mercyful Fate, they come around, they form in 1981, basically out of the remnants of a band called Bratz that was around from like 79 till 81. Sort of disband, basically just rearm as a new band name, Mercyful Fate, but they're joining this new up-and-coming sort of burgeoning black metal scene, also known as satanic metal. It is just no holds barred heavy metal with just pure satanic lyrics. There's no more walking the fine line like Sabbath had between, you know, evil and so forth. This is just in your face. We want to go to hell. By 1982, they got the debut EP out there, known as it's Mercyful Fate is the official name. A lot of people call it Nuns Have No Fun. A great 4-song EP. Next up in 1983, a progressive metal masterpiece, Melissa. 7 songs, pure molten hell here. Just more of the same as of the EP, but definitely more progressive. By the following year in '84, little more easier to digest version of Mercyful Fate. Still progressive, very progressive, but not as much as Melissa was. Just 2 great albums. You'll hear many people say that Melissa and Don't Break the Oath are 2 of the best metal albums, progressive metal albums ever made. And I'm here to tell you that's bullshit. These are 2 of the best albums ever made, period. There's no need to qualify it with metal or progressive metal. They're awesome, perfect albums, like albums where you won't change a damn note. They are unique. I mean, just a very original sound, very original style. Cover art's great to boot. I mean, what is there not to love about these 2 albums? The EP is really solid too, but I don't think it compares to either of the full-length albums. It's great, don't get me wrong, but that's my opinion. Always thought these guys were amazing. Now, I really kind of got out of metal in the late 80s, and especially and then into the 90s, so I wasn't even looking to try to see them live in the 90s, and it looks like they were around up until 99. I kind of got back into metal again, my mid-30s, so we're talking like 2005-ish or whatever. And of course, they were broken up from 99 until a couple of years ago when there was finally a reformation, did some festivals. King was doing, of course, obviously King Diamond had a solo career from the time they broke up, 86, up through, it was still doing Mercyful Fate also in the 90s. But since 99, King Diamond's just been solo exclusively. So now we finally have this reunion. Of course, COVID kind of stalled it a little bit, where they still played a few festivals, but no tours happened until now. Finally, man, it's been forever. Lineup we have so far, at this gig was King Diamond, Hank Sherman on guitar, mainstays from the original band. Unfortunately, bass player Timmy Grabber Hansen, passed away a few years ago from cancer. Joey Vera, bassist from Armored Saint, is basically the official new bassist. He's unavailable for this show because of an Armored Saint gig, so we had a British Becky Baldwin on bass. She was, amazing. I mean, look at her. Great player. Drummer Bjorn Holm, if I'm saying it right, he actually was asked to join the band back in the early 80s. I guess he declined for whatever reason, so at least he has ties to the band. and Mike Weed, who at one point had replaced Michael Denner in the 90s. So, you know, at least these replacement guys, the two of them anyway, have ties to the band from years ago, decades ago. So anyway, they sounded awesome. King Diamond's the star of the show, obviously, and sounded great. It's my first time at the Fillmore. Really cool place. When you first walk in, you're in an interesting, cool lobby where the merch is. Through that area into where there's a bar, but you can see the stage through the bar. So kind of watched Creator from that area there. They were cool. I'm not into them a whole lot. They sound like, I don't have anything in their albums, but they sounded great. I noticed looking up their set list, they did like one song from 10 different albums or something like that, which must have been awesome if you were a fan or a big fan of the band. They sounded great. The place has a layout where there's a big wide open floor in the basement, and then, you know, essentially a rectangular horseshoe up top where you need to pay a little extra to get in. I'm noticing some places starting to do this now. It's one price to get in. There's all kinds of add-ons you can do once you're in there. So we did a $30 add-on to get into a VIP area where you can see from up above. We didn't even realize that there was a section in the center. So there was curtains up, and once the show got close, they opened the curtains. That's where we watched it from. Really cool. Bar up there had way less of a wait than downstairs. Places like that, I would say, probably worth doing the add-on. Anyway, to the show. Who gives a shit about that bullshit? Set list was 10 solid songs, or I'm sorry, 11 songs, 10 of which were from back in the day. I did not look up. When I go to a concert and I'm on the fence about going in the first place, I'll look up a set list to see if it's worth me going. A band like this, there was no doubt in my mind I was going to this. So then it's the opposite. I don't want to know anything going in. I did pick up In the Shadows from '93, a year or two ago. I didn't think it was great, but it's not bad. I know they have 3 or 4 other albums or what have you. I just expected a typical concert where there would be maybe half old stuff and half stuff from the albums from beyond the 80s. Well, it was 10 songs from the old school first 3 releases, 1 brand new song, and nothing from any of the other albums they did in the 90s or so. So really interesting, really awesome for someone like me that, you know, only really knows the old material. But pretty much the whole crowd was on board with from best I can tell, everyone loved it. Let's go down the set list. The lights go down. You have that synthesizer that starts the beginning of the song The Oath, which is side 2 of Don't Break the Oath. It's funny how you remember things about that. I haven't even looked that up. Side 2 of The Oath starts out with that, so that's how the show starts out. It was great. Set list, the stage set was really cool, as you could see. Just love the in-your-face, upside-down cross. Just putting it right out there right away. Into something from the EP, A Corpse Without Soul. That sounded awesome. I mean, the sound wasn't perfect. Creator's sound, where we watched them from downstairs, was really, really pretty unbelievably clear and great for a metal show like that. Fate, not quite as clear, but we were upstairs. I think the dynamics of the place, and it's a little close to the ceiling, the roof of the place, so when you're up there, it's not going to sound as good, in my opinion. But the song sounded great, Corpse Without Soul. Then they play one new song, The Jackal of Salzburg, which I've noticed on some of the merch, that's what they're calling this tour. Just kind of cool if you're only going to play one new song. I like that. I'm down with that. Then into Curse of the Pharaohs. Pretty sure that's on Melissa. Awesome. Then back to Don't Break the Oath, A Dangerous Meeting. One of my favorite songs by them ever. Doomed by the Living Dead, another, probably those 2 songs right there are probably in my top 3 of Mercyful Fate songs. Sounded amazing. Then we get into some deep stuff. The title track from Melissa. Absolutely kills. Awesome. Black Funeral. I mean, does it get any better? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Black Funeral into Evil. Then I guess the show closer, Come to the Sabbath. I noticed that King always plays that. I never saw King solo, but I noticed that's always in his set list on his DVDs and concert set list. Come to the Sabbath's always been there. There it is again. In your face. Up your ass. Couple minutes off the stage, a little anticipation, and then we finally get the awesome 10 minutes Satan's Fall. I mean, could a song get any more progressive than this? It's 10 minutes long, and I think there's like 16 or 18 changes in it. But yet it all flows seamlessly. These guys are just masters of progressive metal. Just masters, right? Awesome time. Great time. I wish they had another gig close by the next day or two. I would have tried my best to get there. Unfortunately, this was the next to last date on the tour in the U.S., and then they were off to Mexico for a couple dates. So that was the end of my ability to try to get to another show. Not going to happen. But hopefully they're going to come back like in a year or two. New album maybe, I'm sure. That would be amazing. The show is incredible. Trying to just stretch it out right now to talk so I can show you more video. Nah, just kidding. But anyway, you get the idea, man. It was amazing, and if you didn't get there, it's really a shame. It's a shame that the tour's almost over because maybe this video could have got you to it if you had time to still get a ticket. I'm not sure if this was sold out, but it really looked like it was. Anyway, that'll do it for now, guys. If you guys can like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. We talked concert reviews, bootleg albums, regular albums here and there. You know the deal. All right, man, I'll catch you guys later.